Hey, everybody, welcome back. I was just finishing the five stack with Dean Blundell, and we had missed a big story that had developed. So I just want to quickly update you that Trump has got a bit of a temporary lifeline now from the appeals court because of these US tariffs decisions that have come down. So if you remember correctly, in the last hour, we told you about two separate court decisions which had deemed the tariffs or the so called Liberation Day tariffs illegal. Now we have a new appeals court ruling that reads like this. This is Chief Judge Laurie, um, whose writes here in the above captioned cases, the United States Courts of International Trade entered judgment against the United States and permanently enjoined certain executive orders imposing various tariffs. The U.S. moves to consolidate its appeals from those rulings and has applied for this court to stay the judgment and injunction pending these appeals for an immediate administrative stay while the court considers that motion. And that is, in fact, what they did. They gave them the stay. The motions to consolidate are granted. The appeals are consolidated, such as the only one set of briefs should be filed for the appeals. And then it goes on to say the request for an immediate administrative stay is granted to the extent that the judgments and the permanent injunctions entered by the Court of International Trade in these cases are temporarily stayed until further notice. And this court considers the motion papers. So that is the breaking news. We had said that the entire tariff strategy was over, but no, here we are. The courts have jumped in and saying that they are allowing for the stay. It's the statement and earlier the court ruling by the International Court of Trade had really declared Trump's tariffs contrary to law. It said that they were a figment of his imagination, that it really was a brazen illegal thing that he put in place. But this really is different. The appeals court consolidated all the tariff cases and is now granting the administrative stay until further notice while this court considers the motion papers. So the tariffs are back on until the appeals court makes a final decision on whether they're back on. Who knows how long that's going to take? It could take forever. Who knows? This is the problem with courts being as slowly grinding as they do. They do grind, but it's going to take some time for them to come to a decision. In the meantime, all these deals that are still waiting to happen, supposed deals that are waiting to happen, which haven't happened, we're still going to wait on those. And it's really a question about whether any of these trade resolutions can happen in time before shelves are empty. We're going to start seeing that happening soon. And of course, the 90-day limit starts. Is coming up as today soon too. He put a pause in it, but it was only for 90 days. What happens after that? So the Trump team remain very aggressive on the legal front. They're continuing to challenge the courts. They're going to keep testing the limits of the court's authority. They're going to keep testing the limits of their authority. And this is what we're seeing here. More important than ever right now, that the pressure remains on that these courts push back against these attempts to undermine the authority of both the Congress, which really has the rights and the authority to deal with tariffs, not only the executive branch. And so it's vital that we maintain those rights and that there's a pushback against this overreach by the executive branch. And really, this is not an emergency. This is, what Trump had claimed was some sort of emergency. This is not an emergency. This was something he self-created out of an imagination, and we shouldn't be here. And certainly there's vast allegations of insider trading that he himself and his inner circle were able to profit from during this trade, so-called Liberation Day or Tariff Liberation Day. That's the breaking news. Thanks for being here on Narrative. We'll have more later on.